So we purchased it for $310,000. It was the worst house on the nicest street and ended up selling it for $640,000. My mortgage repayments were £900 a month, setting a budget. Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. Today I wanted to come to you with just some good vibes, and I wanted to do something that's a little bit different. I wanted to have a chat about something I think is really important for girls to talk about, and they never do, and it is money. And I feel like I used to talk about it here and there, not a lot, but I feel like a lot of people are scared to approach this subject. And I decided that anything I do, I want to make sure that I'm adding value to people's lives and I'm being as honest as possible, even from my lifestyle perspective. And so I wanted to share something that I feel like was really important to me. And last year was a big year for me for a number of reasons. And I actually paid off a mortgage. I paid off the mortgage to my first ever property that I ever bought. So I really want to kind of share tips on how I did that, as well as talking about practical tips when it comes to money, making it, saving it, and all that jazz. Because I'm not that British. British people, they don't talk about money at all. They're like, whoo. Like it's that serious. And I'm like, let's just talk about it. And I also find that girls as well, they don't like to talk about it, which is one of the reasons why there's such a huge pay gap between men and women in the working industry, because women are less likely to negotiate their salary. Let's not get political right now. I'm not even going to do it. We'll get into it another day. I have another channel for all of this. I haven't uploaded yet, but it's coming. Yes, I really wanted to share the energy about the fact that I was able to pay off a mortgage, and that property was worth £640,000, which is probably about $700,000, $800,000 maybe. I might have my numbers wrong, but there was a big lump sum. And you hear of all these ridiculous stories and people doing really well, and you don't necessarily see those things for yourself, and you don't know how you're going to do it, but somehow you do it. And because I feel like I did it and I have the opportunity to do even more, I wanted to share that energy for you coming into 2018. And another thing that happened last year was that I became a published author. Yes, guys, this is my final book cover. The last book cover wasn't cutting it, or you had to actually go back to the drawing board. And I'm so excited and so proud of this new cover that I have for you guys. I have wanted to release a book for the longest time, and to also talk about stuff like this. I'm an accounting girl who loves beauty and fashion, okay? I was an accounting and finance student who then kind of moved into this industry of social media and have been trying to make it work. I am talking about money, I'm talking about business, I'm talking about losses, I'm talking about the world of social media, I'm talking about my story and my journey when it's come to just building something, and I'm still on the journey of building. This is now going to be launched in America, which is why there was a delay, but it will be available in the States. So it's available for pre-order right now, and because it's on pre-order, it has a special pricing. After the pre-order, it will be more expensive. So do get your pre-order in, and hopefully you will have it in the next 3 weeks, darlings. The next 3 weeks, which is actually really scary. I've had so many messages. There is also a competition for those of you who pre-order now with Waterstones. There's a chance to win some goodies and amazingness, and there will be an event, but I'll tell you about that later because it's not actually entirely organized. But I'm so excited that you guys are going to be able to get your hands on this. So I have links down below where you can pick it up, but let's get into this video. I know I'm talking about how I paid my mortgage, but I really think that this applies to paying a mortgage off, paying a student loan debt off, saving for a deposit, saving for something special, or making extra money where you want to. The principle applies to generally how to actually make more money overall. So the first thing I did was I set a goal, and I didn't realize this, but I chose to set a goal that wasn't realistic. I set goals that didn't seem that achievable. Like when I wanted to get a deposit and I was like, well, I'm gonna need like £50,000. These times I wasn't in the position to necessarily have 50,000, but I did set goals that were above what I could see in my physical. Don't really know how to explain this. I am reading a book that is called the 10x rule, and I realize that there's a lot of logic when you actually set goals that are 10 times bigger than what you actually think you can achieve. It kind of pushes you and drives you, and you put even more effort to achieve it. Sometimes you don't hit that goal. It's absolutely fine. But when you do, you kind of feel on top of the world. And another reason why it's important to set a goal is because it kind of gives you a direction to work to. So I had a goal, one, to purchase a property. That was my first ever goal. And I had a budget of like 250,000. That's what I wanted to buy when I purchased a home. And actually I ended up buying a home for 310,000. But I'm gonna go into that in a second. Having a goal gives you a framework for direction. It gives you the steps that you need to get to that goal. If you're writing a goal like, I want to own 20 houses, have 10 million in the bank, and have 7 abs, because you have 7 abs, you're going to have to work out, how do you get from here to here? Because I have a goal, I'm able to work out what all the steps in between are to actually achieve that goal. The next thing I did was I bought a home, or should I say me and my husband, we bought a home that was affordable for us. I want to quickly go into the numbers because I like talking numbers. We purchased a property that was 310,000. We put a 15% deposit down, and in all honesty, the house was crap. And so many of you guys who watched us for a long time saw us actually transform that house. We paid £310,000 for the shell of a home. It was tidy enough for us to stay in, and it was affordable. My mortgage repayments were £900 a month. For me and my husband, £900 per month that's literally £450 per person. It was super, super affordable, and we had the potential to grow in it. We ended up transforming that property, and we had like this galley kitchen that literally had a draft because we had this lean-to with a cracked window. Anytime someone could break into our house because there wasn't a back door there, the door was rickety, it was mash up. It wasn't fixer-upper, but it was affordable. And there's a thing that I think is a really important principle when it comes to making money, saving money, investing money, whatever, is to always kind of work within your means. And I feel like you have to realize that you have to start from somewhere to get to where you want to get to. And it's okay to do a little bit of suffering in the beginning because you're on your journey. And so affordability was something that was very important to me. Because it was affordable at a mortgage of £900 per month, we were able to save so much money. So this is a specific property principle. Where possible, try and put a deposit down of at least 15%. The reason why I say the least 15%, and I know that's sometimes a lot of money to gather, but you need a hustle. It really helps with your mortgage repayment. And this is where I'm talking about the fact that affordability is really important. The lower amount you put towards the property, the more it costs you on a monthly basis. So sometimes you might have to pause when it comes to buying a home. And in general, sometimes you have to pause to buy a thing that you want because right now you just don't have enough for it. And I think that when you can exercise a little bit of patience, in the long run, it helps you to value the thing that you have more. And rather than it becoming a burden, it becomes actually an asset. People who get cars and homes and stuff that they can't afford all the time are struggling. To be honest, I was very lucky because I kind of was like on the, house was cheap, Didn't really have an expensive car. To be honest, kind of had a banger. I was actually quite comfortable mentally, which meant that I could focus on building my money and building up my businesses. So another property-focused piece of advice, especially when it comes to having a mortgage, is to actually overpay every month. So what I would do is pay extra every single month. So though my repayments were only £900, when I had extra, I'd made some extra money, I would pay 1,000 or I'd pay 1,200. But sometimes there's a threshold. So when you keep overpaying, they actually charge you because the banks don't actually want you to pay off your mortgage early. And I'll tell you about that a little bit later. But I would pay a little bit extra every single month to help bring down the amount I was paying on my mortgage. This is probably the key factor in everything that I'm saying, and it is actually to focus on building different monetary streams. And to be completely honest, the only way that I was actually able to pay off my mortgage, although I implemented some of those smart ideas, was that I made more revenue. And it's that simple. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, I was working in the city. I had a job, and then I had side hustles, including YouTube and all the other stuff that I was doing on the side. Some were losers, some were winners, most are losers. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I know it's hard out there sometimes to find a job that pays you well enough or pays you what you want, and then to even get it in general. But I really believe that we're in a world where you can create more opportunity, especially because of social media and the internet. If you are smart, if you've got a product, a service, a skill, something, you're able to make money on that. Again, if you pick up my book, I've got so much information and examples in here on how that actually works, as well as in my course. Hi, I forgot about my course. I'll tell you about my course shortly. So what I did is I focused on building 3 to 4 different streams of revenue. So I had my job, I'm writing this down. I then had YouTube, where I started to make AdSense revenue. I then started to use affiliate links and affiliate codes, which everybody can use. You do not have to be a YouTuber or an influencer or someone with a big platform to use affiliates to make money basically while you sleep, working with sponsors and partners, and then eventually bringing out and creating my own products as well. So you guys remember that I still run White Hair, my hair extension company that does absolutely amazing, and all these revenues basically funneled in to me having double, triple, quadruple my salary, to the point that I was able to actually quit my job. Having more money, having a mortgage paid off in an early amount of time is not normally gonna happen if you've just got one job and one salary. It's very rare, unless you're a CEO on £1 million a year or £2 million a year, where you get taxed heavily, like 50% tax, right? Then you're highly unlikely to be able to pay off a mortgage in a short amount of time, especially if you're young. And so my advice to anyone, no matter what age you are, is get your hustle on. There's so many opportunity. You can definitely look inside yourself and look at, you know what can I do? You know you can do something. You know that sometimes it just takes for someone to tell you you're amazing and you could do this thing or you could do that thing, but no one ever wants you to know. But I want you to know, okay? So another thing I started to do to help me monetarily, to really hone in, to get into the target that I wanted to get to, was actually setting a budget. I started to make more money, and then I started to spend more money. And so I realized I really wasn't saving that much. You know, I had a house, I was comfortable. I wasn't actually saving that much. So I had to get quite serious about budgeting and determining what I actually wanted. Setting a budget was really real. I actually realized that I spend on food what people spend on rent. I was actually annoyed because your girl was doing Deliveroo, aka Postmates, daily for lunch and dinner. Oh, I'm working, I'm busy. No, meal prep. Okay, I used to buy bags all the time. You guys will see me like, I'm gonna need bag haul. Be buying bags. I'll be buying stuff and hiding that I was buying it. I wouldn't let my hubby know that I bought more stuff. I was a buyer. I am a buyer. I love buying, but I set myself a budget, and it is really teaching me to exercise some discipline. I've already spent into my food budget for the month. I've already done Deliveroo twice. But it's fine. It's fine. I have a problem. I like food. Setting a budget, just physically seeing how much you have coming in, how much you have going out, where's it going, allocating it, and then managing it. Get a budget going. Get those apps that help you to sort your ish out and focus. Now, along the period of the time since we owned the property, we did a lot of work that really helped bring up the value of the house. It actually went up almost over double the value. So we purchased it for $310,000. It was the worst house on the nicest street, and ended up selling it for $640,000, which was the market rate at the time. And actually, I think it's gone up a lot, because on that road, it's got really expensive now. So I think I bought at a good time, which is actually a very valid point when it comes to owning property. Try and buy at the right time. Don't overpay. okay? And buy the worst house on the nicest street. So onto another practical point about how I ended up paying off my mortgage was that obviously I'd started to make more money through the different businesses that I was running. And so I decided to sell my property to my business. So technically I've paid off the mortgage and I still own the property, and I now use it as an investment property. I have lovely tenants who are living there who pay me a residual rent, and they have a great home to live in. So my business was able to buy my property from me, and then I was able to have the cash from the increase in the value of the house to the sum of about £350,000. But yes, I'm now a landlady, rolling in dough. No, joking, not rolling in dough. It really isn't like that. But we've got some amazing tenants in there, and I'm currently in the process of looking for another property to invest in. My final point is save your money, budget effectively, be smart about trends in the market, and then reinvest your money. Though I have additional money, my choice is to keep investing it into assets that I think that are going to help me and my family in the long run. No matter how much I make, I feel like I'm always going to have not broke mentality, but I'm gonna have hustle mentality, okay? Because you never know what could happen. So yeah, guys, that is my story on how I paid off my mortgage and some tips when it comes to paying off your own mortgage and making some money. Pick up my book. I think just me telling you this makes me feel like I'm on a very similar journey to my hero, which is my mama. And I tell her story in here where she was able to basically not speak very much English, not have more than a secondary school education, and end up owning like 10 properties in this country and doing relatively well for someone who was an immigrant. That is kind of seeded in me and throughout my kind of whole book and my whole journey, and I'm very, very grateful, and I feel like I want to pass that on to others. So I'll have a pre-order link down in the description bar below, and I am also launching a course specifically about building a social media based business, people. I'm going into the details. I'm going into how to make money, how influencers make money. I'm talking about the pitfalls that I've been in. I'm going into a lot of detail. I believe there are about 10 individual videos, and there are PDFs, and there's so much resources that are going to be there for you. It will be available at the end of the month, so I have a link down below if you are interested in that, but there will be more to come on that soon. But guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I haven't kept you too long chatting, and if there's anything else you want to know, DM me, tweet me. But I know I've been a bit MIA on social, but don't worry guys, I will answer all your questions. So thank you so much for watching, and in the meantime I will catch you all later. Bye.